it's just been beautiful after shooting the video in Solo's farm, where he spoke about his pepper farming journey, how he started, and that much he's actually making out of there. But there's been a lot of text messages, there's been a lot of comments, and via WhatsApp. A lot of you out there are keenly interested in starting their pepper business on their pepper or investing into pepper farming. That's habanero pepper farming, and that's just beautiful to come across a lot of comments out there. And some are willing to know the amount that would actually be involved in cultivating an acre of pepper farm in Ghana. So today I'm going to help you. We are going to take it step by step, and for you to know the basics as a beginner or a starter in Ghana as to the amount you'd actually be spending to kickstart with an acre of habanero pepper or bakushito farming, right? So if you are the type that has no land, from your relative, you've never inherited any land from your father, your siblings, or your mom, your family, then you should know that you would actually be acquiring one, or you'd actually be renting a farmland to kickstart with. And in Ghana, across the country, an acre of farmland it goes out for 600 Ghana cedis. That's those that want to lease it for you for agriculture activities. A year they are going to take from you 600 Ghana cedis for rental. So you'd basically use it for the farming season. That's 1 year, and you would have to renew again. That is across the country. If there is lesser in your community, then kudos to you. You would have a plus, but that is the estimated, or that is what you should be expecting if you want to go get a farmland across the country to kickstart with your agriculture activities. And after acquiring the land, after the land acquisition, you'd actually have to look for there are two things that you'd actually have to do. If the land has never been cultivated before, then you'd basically have to go about clearing the land. And this clearing can actually cost you like 2,000 Ghana cedis, because usually the chainsaw operators actually have to come and chop down some of these trees and cut them into pieces for you, which can cost you like 2,000 Ghana cedis. And you would have to also look for plowing. So if you want to plow the land, but then if there are no stumps or there are no trees on the land, if it's a land that has once been cultivated, all you have to do is just to go look for a tractor operator to come and plow the land for you. And that's also going to cost you like 600 Ghana cedis. It depends, because usually, and some of us in our localities, we get tractor, or these drivers are coming. They tell you if the place is too weedy or a tractor has never plowed it before, they are going to charge you more than the 600 Ghana cedis. So it also depends in your locality. It varies from one community to the other. But then you should be looking at 600 Ghana cedis for plowing activities. But if it's never been plowed before, then you should actually be looking at something that is going to be cost you more than that. But let's peg it at 600 Ghana cedis. Well, if you are thinking of considering digging a borehole, that's up to you. So you just should be able to meet the people so that if they can do that for you, then that's fine. The last time I checked, there are people that do it between the price of 20,000 plus. So you should be able to get it from 20,000 plus. They can come and dig a borehole for you. But I think as a beginner, that's going to cost you a lot of money. So you might not be considering that if you want to go in for irrigation system. But then if you are closer to a stream or a river bank, then you should also just be looking at getting a pump. So maybe you considering getting um borehole, you are not going to do that. And you might also be thinking of erecting a structure if you want to have a structure on the farmland for your workers to come and be staying. It depends. If you want to get a structure like that, you can talk to the locals, the carpenters around, and they are going to give you estimates as to the amount you can spend in getting this structure also built on the farmland for you. So that you should be able to talk to the local carpenters around. They can be able to help you tackle that one too. Well, that comes to irrigation and installations, right? So you basically want to irrigate the farm, you have to go about irrigations and installation processes. And those that would come and help you, you should be looking at 9,500 for all these activities for the installation process and irrigation and installation process. You should be looking at 9,500 Ghana cedis. You should also be looking at getting a pump that can be able to pump water onto your fall, which is selling at that's 5.5 horsepower. I think you should be getting it like 2,000 Ghana cedis. Or yeah, so that should be 2,000 Ghana cedis. Well, the last time I visited Solo's farm, So let's spoke about the irrigation system that he actually used or he's actually depending on to irrigate his farm. Well, Solo is an installer on his own. He knows much about all these things. So he's been able to tackle the whole issue and his cost was, I think for the 2 acres, Solo made mention of 10,000 plus Ghana. I think he said 9,000 to 10,000 plus Ghana cedis is what he actually spent in doing that. But then Solo is using only one pumping machine to be able to irrigate his farm. And he is an installer, so he's been able to maneuver, he's been able to manage so that these can be able to get to all other parts of the farm, of which he did, and it was nice, and he's been able to get something out of it. So if you are not an installer, you should be looking at 9,500 for the installation and irrigations, and you should also be looking at buying a pumping machine, which is going to cost you like 2,000 Ghana cedis. And usually you should be able to get two pumping machines if you want to. But then I'm sure some of these installers can be able to help you to be able to manage one for your farm activities. So if you should be able to do that as a beginner, that's a plus for you. And you might also be considering getting a storage system like poly tanks so that you can be able to store your water in it so that when you come, this the one you've stored instead of pumping directly from the ground. That is if you've actually dug a borehole. The ones you've already accumulated in the poly tank can be used in irrigating the farm. So that you should also look at the farm price or the pricing in the market. So we are not going to put that there because these are things that you might give it a second thought to do that or not. But you'd also have to consider getting a solar panel system if you'd want it professionally. You should be able to consider getting a solar panel system, which is also going to cost you some money because you have to do solar panel and installations. You'd have to actually do that. But when we come to Solo's farm, which is generating lots of questions from you viewers out there, Solo shared with us that in his farm he's been able to detect something from the past experiences. He said he realized that when you buy these agric seeds, that's the seeds agric habanero pepper seed, the lifespan usually don't last. So instead of going in for the agric seeds, he opted in for the local ones because he said he wasn't willing to risk his last money that he had on him. So he opted in for the local seeds, of which they sold to him that is 500 Ghana cedis because he actually got it from a farmer closer. So he got a beer bottle for 500 Ghana cedis. So he actually bought two bottles so that he can be able to use that. Well, he decided to nest all the two bottles. The reason being that he'd want to have a backup plan down. So in case of any eventuality or in case some of them didn't sprout well or some of them are dying off, he can be able to go get those ones. He come and do replacement quickly. So that was a backup plan that we did. But also made mention that after all these things, he only transplanted, that is one bottle that he actually used for the 2 acres. He's been able to manage that on the 2 acres of his farmland. So that was his experience. So the farming is about the more you do it, the more you keep getting experience, the more you keep gathering experience, and the more you know how to cut down certain costs so that you can be able to do more with your farming activities. Well, so once you are doing it, you would be mastering each and every day, then you should be able to know how to reduce costs or more over. And if you'd want to go in for the agriculture type, which is the habanero pepper, you should be looking at 50 grams or 100 grams respectively. And you are going to get like 2 to 3 of these in order for you to be able to plant on your field. And some of them are selling like 500 Ghana cedis per 50 grams. So you should be able to get 2 or 3 of those before you can be able to go about dealing with your activity. So now let's take it through one by one again. Quickly, we are going to get a land which is going to cost you 600 Ghana cedis. That is lease for a year and you needed just 1 acre. So 600 Ghana cedis. You are going to do land clearing. That is if they haven't cleared the land before, which is also going to cost you like 2,000 Ghana cedis. If you are considering digging about 122 150 meters deep, then that one too is going to cost you a fortune. But I think that is a secondary matter. So we will leave that to your discretion to decide on whether you are going to do that. So you should be able to add that to it if you wanted to actually invest in that. And from that, you would also looking at plowing the land, which basically you can go about this 3 times or 2 times depending on how you want it to be done for you. So we should be also looking at 1,800 3 times. It should be able to cost you like 1,800 if you want to go about it. But if you want to go it for once as a beginner, then you should be looking at 600 Ghana cedis or more, depending on the kind of people you are going to meet or the kind of land or farmland that you've gotten. If it has been plowed before, then you have a plus. You are free from that. If it's never been plowed before, you should be spending more than just 600 Ghana cedis in dealing with that. And the farm structure too is one thing that we leave to your discretion. If you want to go in for a farm structure, it's left up to you to decide whether you want to put up a farm structure on your farmland for your workers. So that is also left to you to decide. That's also going, we are going to leave that one also with you to decide if you want to get it done on your farm. But then we're also talking about the irrigation system, irrigation and installations. That should be costing you like 9,500. You should be getting a pump for 2,000 Ghana cedis respectively. And you should also be thinking of it want to get a poly tank. Then the storage system tanks you can actually go for that one too, and that you should also go check it out for yourself, or you can decide on the kind of the polytank you want to buy, the size of polytank you want on your phone. That has to be left to you to decide on. And the solar panel and installation is also one thing that you should also be considering by yourself. So in all, if you want to do all the calculations based on all these things, the first unit cost of all these things should be giving you like 14,700 cedis. Yes, but then if you want to go to the total amount after the quantity involved and as to the amount of everything what you do, then roughly 17,900 should be able to kickstart for you as a beginner if you want to do an acre of habanero pepper farming. 17,900 Ghana cedis should be something, roughly something you should be looking at, comprising of the pepper, the irrigation system, and what have you, or more. You should be able to looking at these things, or so that you can be able to deal with it diligently. Viewers out there, I've got a good news for you too. Well, in case you don't know, I want to share something quickly with you. Those of you who are interested in getting or acquiring farmlands, there's been several questions or there's been several calls and messages I do get from people all the time like, yeah, I need a farmland, I need a farmland, I don't want a very fertile land to, kickstart with something like grain of cassava, tomatoes, vegetables in general. There's been several calls that I do get from people. I need like 500 acres of land, and like 1,000 acres of land, and 100, 200 acres of land. I've got news for you out there that you're watching this video today. So if you're out there and you're keenly interested in getting a farmland for your agriculture purposes, just pick the number you're seeing on the screen and just call and we would have a chat with you. Well, there is a farmland that the farm owner is giving out for lease and they also selling some, which is going out for they have about 6,000 acres of land that they actually leasing some and also selling some. Well, the ask price for an acre is going for 12,000 Ghana cedis, which can be slightly negotiable. And the 12,000 Ghana cedis, a land that you know, they've already got rid of all the trees on the land. They've actually got a bulldozer and they uprooted most of the trees on the land. It has been cleared already, so you are not going to spend money on clearing the land. All you have to do is to go get a tractor, do your plowing, then you kickstart with your farming activities. That major aspect has been dealt with. That is why that is selling for 12,000 Ghana cedis, because they've spent money in getting rid of all the trees on the land. Or the second one that they have, which is the virgin land, is also going out for 10,000 Ghana cedis, which can also be slightly negotiable. That's the asking price, slightly negotiable. So if you want that one too, you'd have to just pick the number on the screen and you will call and we will show you this. All this land we're talking about, they are all in whole municipality. So you just call and it's just about 14.6 kilometers drive away from the 66 Artillery Regiment in the Volta region of Ghana. And it's a serene environment, a cool atmosphere, a nice place for you to do your farming activities. There are a lot of individuals out there already that some are from Canada, some are from the UK. They came to buy land and they are there. Some are actually there doing lots of land. You quite remember last time, somewhere last 2 years, 2023, I visited one gentleman known as Renal Entry, who actually left UK to become a farm manager right in Ghana, right? He bought about 300 acres of land from these people. So if you're also keenly interested, know that people are there already. Some have decided to put a structure there and they come often with their car, stay throughout the weekend, engage in their farming activities, then within the week they go back to their various work and come back. So that is a good news for you out there who is keenly interested in getting the farmland. Just pick the number on the screen and you see. So that's a video of how the place looks like being shared with you on the screen. So just pick the number, call us, and we will have a chat with you when you are free and you have time to. You would call and you go to see the place, site with station, you go, you visit the site to sit in yourself. And if you are interested, you call, they do the payment for, give you genuine papers, and you are cool to go. And if you want to acquire it for it to become yours, you can do that. If you want a land to lease to engage in your agriculture activities, to just pick up the number and call. So far so good. This is how far the Lord has brought us on this channel. If it's your first time, then hit on the subscription button and turn on the post notification bell that whenever we upload new videos, you would be the first person to get alert your mobile device. Until then, my name is Christopher Ebenezer. Catch you in another